I'm sure Ian Fleming would give my latest mission the seal of approval for toughening me up. The Living Daylights, directed once again by John Glenn, who isn't showing signs that he is getting bored of directing 007 anytime soon. Damn, rarely has the exact same director stayed for 2 eras of Bond, and is the first installment of the Timothy Dalton James Bond duology, and the 15th installment of the James Bond franchise overall. Yay, we have reached the 15th movie mark in my Bond review marathon. Just 10 more movies to go, people, and then it's no time to die. So, The Living Daylights tells the story, taking place after the events of A View to a Kill, where Bond once again undergoes a Time Lord-like regeneration and morphs himself into Timothy Dalton, where our favourite globe-trotting hero spy must cross multiple continents, specifically Russia, to defeat a arms dealer who is conspiring with the Soviet Union to begin a World War III for profit, while at the same time convincing the girlfriend of a General Kara that she needs to think more carefully before picking her boyfriends. Now, the Living Daylights being the first of the 2 Dalton Bond movies that we have, in my personal opinion, is the lesser of the 2, but it's still a damn decent first part to the Dalton duology, and the fresher reboots that the Bond franchise needed after being stuck in campy land for so long with Roger Moore. I mean, I'm sure the studio were in a pickle after Roger Moore's departure. I'm sure it was a nightmare at looking for a replacement after Roger Moore, but thankfully Timothy Dalton as a follow-up. The studio looks at the moderate success of The Living Daylights, and they were like, "Yep, we did good," because Dalton is arguably the closest depiction of Ian Fleming's vision of the character in the Fleming novels. I'm sure the studio had their concerns that die-hard Ian Fleming fans were turning away from the Bond movies because Roger Moore was the most light-hearted of the Bonds, and he bared such little resemblance to the Ian Fleming novels. So the studio thought it's about time we changed that, and Dalton himself has been lucky enough to star in 2 of the biggest British hit franchises, first James Bond and then Doctor Who, where he played the leader of the Time Lords in the David Tennant finale, The End of Time, and him being more accurate to the Ian Fleming Bond is a double-edged sword for me. For one thing, it's a tremendous relief to have a break from the campy style of the Roger Moore movies and to see a hardier Bond, in fact the hardiest Bond period. I mean, even Daniel Craig has his occasional quirky one-liners, but Timothy Dalton's Bond, he takes no prisoners, especially in the fight scenes with the bad guys. Nobody would want to come across Dalton's Bond in a dark alley, but at the same time that he is a little rougher with the woman, and he doesn't have nearly as much chemistry with the Bond girls in his two flicks than Roger Moore did with the multiple Bond girls in his era. Uh, but uh, the Bond girl here, Cara, she one nitpick I forgot to mention with Stacy in A View to a Kill was that she she did slightly overdo the screaming in her scenes, but Cara couldn't. She It's like apples and oranges. She couldn't be more different as a character from Stacy. She's one of the more three-dimensional Bond girls, being the girlfriend of the antagonist. Uh, and and uh, and Bond is ordered to kill her initially because she is working with the villains, but he doesn't. So he sees that she's a he sees the innocent person inside her, and he sees that she's just been deceived by the wrong people, and she initially drugs Bond, but then she realizes, oh, my boyfriend is just using me and tricking me, and whereas Bond legitimately cares about me. So I love her I love the progression of her change of hearts. My number one favourite moments in this entire movie is when Bond interrogates General Paskin, played by Gimli from the Lord of the Rings trilogy, John Rhys Davies, and my God, Dalton is utterly terrifying in that scene. This is Bond hardcore right here. A scene like that wouldn't exist in a Roger Moore movie. The Living Daylights may be the lighter of the Dalton duology, but damn, that moment is goosebump worthy, and the one moment in the movie to scare the living daylights out of me. And before you ask, yes, Bond does a quote to the very title of this movie. Whoever she was, I must have scared the living daylights out of her. However, the one cop-out of that scene was when Bond stripped General Prishin's girlfriend naked in front of the other officer to distract him, and I'm sorry, but I know Bond was on a serious mission, but he had no right to treat her that way, or use her like that in his plan. It's fine if you're going for a edgier tone with the Dalton movies, but you don't need to push it that far by having Bond, physically harass the Bond girls. If there was a scene like that in a Daniel Craig movie, that scene would be panned these days. Though the title sequence and theme song by Aha, it has to be one of the most sluggish and underwhelming Bond themes I've ever heard. It sounds like a combination of Take That and Duran Duran, mixed together. They're singing so silently, and I can hardly hear what they're saying. And also, I almost forgot to mention, as far as gadgets go in this movie, that car is just incredible. Most of the villains in this movie come off as boring, especially the lead general, whose name just slips my mind. The one good villain in this movie would be the henchman Necros. It's about time we had a badass henchman put up a fight with Bond since Jaws, and Necros. I mean, he's tougher, just like Dalton's Bond, especially in the kitchen fight scene. But also on the negative side is that this movie feels far too similar to From Russia with Love, going back to Russia again. I mean, comparisons to From Russia with Love and The Living Daylights are unavoidable. So overall, The Living Daylights is a good enough and darker take on the character of Bond, and and a solid standalone Bond movie on its own for what it is. And yeah, and John Glenn did slightly up his game here. I tip my hat off to him. This is a step up from some of the previous Roger Moore installments, and it would only get better in License to Kill.
I give The Living Daylights 3 stars out of 5. Good movie.
So yeah, I'm able to go through the Dalton era far more rapidly than the Moore era. Well, I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. And what are your thoughts on The Living Daylights? Please comment and let me know. Please like this video and subscribe. Please follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. And I'll see you next time when I review part 2 and the finale of the Timothy Dalton Bond era, License to Kill. And remember, movies are us. Bye, guys.